morning, good afternoon, good evening. 46 years after independence, and we are still failing to hold free, fair, and credible elections. Yes, ZANU-PF has rigged the elections and got away with it for 46 years. What we cannot and we must not deny is that in those 46 years, we did have the opportunity to implement the democratic reforms which would have ended the ZANU-PF dictatorship. The question then is, why did we fail to seize that opportunity and make the most of it? The opposition got the key, the get out of jail card, and they failed to use it. We want to focus on that issue. Why did the opposition fail to use the get out of jail card? Here is a video clip of Changirai talking about the problems in Zimbabwe.
With all its manifestations of breakdown of the rule of law, selective application of the law, the question of the independence of the judiciary, the question of free media. That is the crisis and the root cause of the Zimbabwean crisis. And the refusal to accept that the people of Zimbabwe have the independence to choose their leaders. Because some people believe they have a divine right, because they participated in the liberation struggle, they have a divine right to rule forever and ever and ever. So I think that people need to understand the crisis, the corruption that is the creation of a small elite at the expense of everyone else. It is a governance crisis.
That is all very well. What we cannot deny is that after 26 years and counting on the political stage, the opposition has failed to implement even one token reform, and hence the reason why ZANU-PF is still able to blatantly rig elections and get away with it. Ben, welcome to the program.
Good day to you and good day to our viewers. Thank you for joining us. Now, the first thing that comes into mind, and these are facts, the opposition, particularly MDC, Triple C, were government at one point. They were part of the government, and they had the best opportunity during the GNU to have implemented the reforms that were necessary to ensure that the next, election or the next years, going forward, Zimbabweans would have a meaningful say in who governs the country. And guess what happened? They were bribed, they were given, monetary and valuables, and they since forgot anything or all about reforms. And that is the truth, and that is the fact. If you look back, you can see what they gained. They gained for Chagira, he got given a $4 million house. Obviously, the other guys, they got given, vehicles, houses, stands, and now as it, the truth has further surfaced, they were given farms, and they kept quiet. And the other, supporting evidence is that ZANU-PF members themselves actually, stood up and said that these MDC guys are now enjoying the pleasures of being part of a corrupt government. They have decided to keep quiet now. These are facts. these are things that have happened.
I think in this particular case, what some people fail to understand is that the MDC Triple C were elected by the people on the understanding that they will implement the democratic reforms necessary to end the ZANU-PF dictatorship. That was made very clear from the word go. The party itself called themselves the Movement for Democratic Change. And yet, in the 26 years the MDC Triple C have been on the political stage, they failed to implement even one token democratic change. That is the reality. What the people themselves have got to ask themselves when they look themselves in the mirror is that why is it that 26 years after the MDC was launched, they failed to implement any reforms? And yet the people themselves, we, the people, have failed to realize what's going on. Nations get the government they deserve. We in Zimbabwe, as much as we decided we did not want ZANU-PF by the late 1990s and have risked lives, livelihoods, and limbs to elect the opposition MDC Triple C, we have failed to keep tag on what they were doing. And hence the reason why we are a failed state. We are stuck with the ZANU-PF dictatorship because the opposition that we elected to end the dictatorship has failed us. And we, the people, have failed to see that.
One of the key, you know, uh, foundations of democracy is the ability for the people to hold those who aspire for public office and those that are in public office account, to account. They have to be accountable for their actions and their deeds. And it is very, very unfortunate that the people of Zimbabwe have never taken to task the likes of MDC and now Triple C to task about their role that they played during the GNU, during their confrontation with SADC, because SADC actually pushed Changira and his friends to implement the reforms. But instead of complying or working with SADC, you find out that Morgan Changirai was one of the person that went and reported SADC to Mugabe. Now he was working in cahoots with ZANU-PF. We paint him as a true gallant, fighter for change. But the evidence and historical facts suggest that he was not. And those are the truths. We cannot change historical facts just because we want to please ourselves. Our failure to hold MDC Triple C accountable is why we are stuck in this mess. Because if we cannot hold those accountable, and we cannot hold MDC accountable, ZANU-PF will not be held accountable as well. The true change, I believe the true change has to begin with us. We have to change our mentality. We have to change our behavior of wanting to protect those in leadership or those that are aspiring leadership roles. We have to call them out. We have to take them to task.
Nelson Chamisa has just announced that he is coming back into politics after the 2023 election debacle. He conned people to participate in those flawed elections on the promise that Triple C was going to win big. Hashtag God is in it. It was God's plan. ZANU-PF blatantly rigged those elections. And Chamisa resigned, claiming that his Triple C party had been infiltrated by ZANU-PF. He has now since announced that he's coming back. He is coming back for one purpose and one purpose only: to con people to participate in the flawed 2028 elections that are coming up. That is the truth. It is a tragedy that millions of our people have been so naive, gullible, they're easily conned. They easily believe even idiotic lies like, I've plugged vote rigging loopholes. They will be conned again. And if millions participate in 2028, ZANU-PF will get away with it again. We started with question, why did the opposition fail to use the opportunities they were presented with to end the ZANU-PF dictatorship? And the reason was, of course, that they are corrupt, incompetent, liars, and conmen. This is a lesson that the people of Zimbabwe have to learn if they want to stop a repeat in 2028. That is the reality. Think about it. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.